behavioral change consultant. Johanse IODK joins me on set for another interesting mental health matters. Every Thursday we dive into a talking point that leaves us inspired and makes us think. And today, it's an important one. Every time we talk about forgiveness, I always consider forgiveness to be one of the greatest gifts, not only to someone, but I think to yourself. The ability to, I guess, to understand a scenario, let it go, and try to move on. But of course, we're asking the direct question this morning: what is forgiveness? Johanse, great to see you. Good Thursday morning.
Good morning, Jason. Good morning to everyone viewing. Now, I'll give a quick story, even why I chose this topic, because I realized it's something in the air with forgiveness. I was driving to Port of Spain yesterday, and I was thinking about, I had ordered a package and it didn't come, and they was getting my run around. And I was angry, right? Mm-hmm. and I was saying how I could let this go, how I could forgive this person. And the funny thing is, I even messaged my therapist to ask him how to do it. Now, I didn't get a response yet. I stopped in town to buy some coconut water. And standing up by the coconut man, a lady said, "Hey, I just watch you on TV and thing." And she said, "You know, it's a good topic. Forgiveness, boy." And I say, "Well, wait, now I'm now thinking about this." She said this, and then it started a conversation with people talking about unforgiveness and what exactly is forgiveness. So I realized it's something that we all struggle with, you know, at times. I don't know anybody who could forgive everybody every time. And what I realized is, doing some research on the origin of the word, it means to thoroughly let go.
So, I guess, is it something that we look at via a kind of tiered, probably a life tier system? Because there's hurt within, I guess, relationships, and we're talking here from family to the school dynamic, to when you start to work, to even relationships. And I guess the closer you are to someone, or at least the closer you think you are to someone, if something goes a bit down south, something doesn't really work out, it tends to be really hard to process that. That seems to be one of the greatest challenges, to forgive those who are very close. How do we even start that process?
I will change a word you use there. You say close. I will change it to emotionally invested in. Because you may not be close to the person, but let me just use, if you're emotionally invested in the government of a country, you're not close to them, but you're emotionally invested. If they do something that beyond your expectations, you will feel it. So it don't matter the closeness of the relationship, but the emotional investment. Especially when we expect something, we look at somebody or something or situation, and we want this to happen a specific way, or we have this expectation that they wouldn't do you certain things. So especially, let's say, in a romantic relationship, even though there may not be open and overt rules, you have certain expectations of this person. Even though they may be wrong, you may have things in your own mind, it may be incorrect. So when a person does something the opposite, it's hard to let it go, because I expect this from this person.
I've always heard that forgiveness is really for yourself as opposed to the other person. Could you elaborate on that? I've always heard that, but still trying to work out. Because to me, I thinking that, you know, you just really forgive the person, so at least the interaction could be at least cordial or normal when you see them again. Because I hate this whole, see someone and you want to remove yourself, you don't want to see them, it's awkward interaction or no interaction at all, especially when you would have emotionally invested a lot into that particular relationship.
It tells you about your relationship with yourself, because I'll use the same package, I'll lose the package, but the thing is, yes, it's money, I invested in it, but I could let go of the money, you know, but I felt like they do me something, right? And I don't want to allow those people to do that. And then it reminded me of other times I didn't stand up for myself. So many times it's hard to forgive yourself, because, you know, I let this person hurt me again, or allow myself in this kind of situation again. So if you don't resolve that, sometimes you have a part to play. And here was the part, the expectation. And sometimes not seeing somebody for who they are versus who we want them to be, and accepting that this is the person. Because forgiveness, for me, whether it is to the person or yourself, comes first with acceptance.
Acceptance.
Yeah, accepting that this is who they are, accepting that this is what they did. Because many times, I believe, even with forgiveness, I think we go through the stages of grief. And the stages of grief are denial. So first you say, nah, boy, this person really do me that. I do believe it. Then we go in with anger.
Yeah, anger is there.
Why this person? You're angry at it. Then we have bargaining. I wonder if that's what they really do, boy. You're questioning it, right?
Trying to make sense of it now.
Right. Then we go with depression. You're feeling, yeah, boy, this person really do me that, or I allow this person to do me that. And then the last stage is acceptance. All right. This is the part I play in it. This is the part they played in it, and this is the truth.
And after the acceptance now, the question is, could you go back into a scenario? Let's say it's a broken business relationship. Let's say it's a failed romantic relationship. Let's say it's a family hurt, some issue, some dark moment within your childhood, and you meet this person now as an adult. I've said all that to really ask, could one truly forgive and forget? Or is forgiveness just the first phrase, but forgetting is something that you just, because they always say to really forgive, you have to forgive and forget. Huh?
The truth
could
is,
we truly forget?
Nah, you can't forget, right? But the test is, to see if you really forgive the person, is when either you remember the scenario or you see the person, how you feel. Because if you still have the emotional charge, then you didn't forgive. But if you could say, well, all right, me and he was together, me and she was together, and the relationship end, I get home, all right, okay, I understand it. This person hurt me, my mother did this, my father didn't do this. All right, I understand it. And you're still not feeling the anger or the hurt or the sadness to that intensity. That's how you know you reach forgiveness. But once you're feeling that, you ain't reached forgiveness yet.
And let me tell you something, that is one of the greatest feelings, because yes, what you're saying there could relate to it, where you feel certain emotional trigger. Sometimes a belly turn, you get anxious. Sometimes you don't even want to see the person, you avoid them. But when you could see them, watch them, and you feel nothing really. I guess that is when you know you kind of got past it. And that takes time, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes for some people, years.
Don't ever force it, because sometimes people say, well, I want to forgive, and they're kind of forcing themselves to forgive. A lot of times you have to go through that process. Reaching the stage of acceptance could take a while,
Yeah.
And even when you reach acceptance, you could go right back to denial, right back to anger, right back to depression. So it's really a process to take your time to reach that stage of acceptance. This is how it is.
So you really can't forgive and forget. You're suggesting that,
you could forgive, but you wouldn't forget. If something significant happened in life, you wouldn't forget it. But it's when you remember it, or you see the person, how you feel, how great the emotional charge is. That's how you know if you really reach forgiveness.
Wow. Such an important talking point. And I think forgiveness is what we need more in the country, honestly, on a serious level, personally, and when we look at even the bigger structure. And I guess probably we are forgiving people, you answer, because the way some people get away literally with murder, the kind of corruption, the kind of bubble, the kind of nonsense we saw.
I don't think that's forgiveness. That is
people just, people tend to, they come back in the fold like normal.
It's not forgiveness. Most times I think it is dissociation. Ignoring, you just don't want to deal with it. Okay. But that could be a topic for next
that could be a topic for next time, because I'm wondering now. I say probably because we had no big revolt and nobody. I mean, granted, we would have had stuff in the past. Again, I can't say we didn't have anything, but let me ask you as we wrap things up: are we forgiving people? I mean, we're all Trinbagonians. I mean, you live here, you spend some time outside, so I guess you better than me could make a certain comparison.
I want to say yes generally, without knowing everybody's mind, because we want to lime and party and include people in things. I would say for the most part, we forgive. And I think that has become less though over the years. We are less forgiving people, but I still think generally we are more forgiving than not.
Give us the closing remarks, you answer.
Nation, forgiveness is a process. Take your time with it before you reach the stage of acceptance. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
Let's head across now to our ever popular birthday brew before I make my exit and make some room for Ian Wason. Your birthday brew up next.